Welcome to Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube, and this is my 2001 BMW 740i Sport. And it is the only BMW in my hoopty fleet, the only BMW of the 6 cars that are behind me, and it is now completely totally fixed. My BMW mechanic, Johnny the Car Ninja, did a lot of work to this thing. If you didn't see the last BMW video, he tore apart the engine to replace the timing chain guides. He also took the transmission out to replace a seal in there. He fixed the suspension on all 4 corners, and he fixed one of the window shades. It's also freshly serviced with new fluids front to back. This is basically as close to a brand new BMW as you can get. And I started with a very, very nice car. This thing only had 81,000 miles on it. The owners seemed to take reasonably good care of it. Well, I say reasonably, but they decided to sell it probably at the right time, right when things were starting to go bad on this thing before they had to dump a bunch of money into it, which that's what I decided to do. And I had never added up everything before now, how much I'd spent on this car, and well, it adds up to a lot, starting with the purchase price. It was $7,000 for this thing, which was pretty reasonable considering it has a clean Carfax, only 80,000 miles. And cosmetics-wise, it was in very, very nice condition, but I bought it from a dealer from Florida, so of course they're not going to tell me everything that's wrong with it, and there were plenty of things. The mechanical stuff that I noted, well, that was expensive. That was $5,000. So $7,000 for the car, $5,000 or $5,500 for the repairs, and $1,000 in shipping in there brings me to $13,500 into this BMW. I also had to put new tires on it, so that was another, well, something like $600–800. The windshield needs to be replaced. There's some pretty bad chips in here, which I'll need to fix. And the headliner is falling down. So all in, once I get this thing totally sorted 100% and as close to perfect as it ever is going to be, I'm going to be $15,000 into this 20-year-old BMW. And a lot of you are probably thinking, well, that's not worth it, not even close, but you might be wrong. I think I finally bought and fixed a BMW worth owning. I really think. I'm not just trying to justify my stupidity in my head. This car is amazing. But before we go into why I think it's worth it, I need to help pay off my credit card bill. So I'd like to thank Ridge Wallet for sponsoring today's video. And I've been using their titanium model for the last few months, and I'll probably never go back to using my old traditional billfold. Ridge Wallets are light, sleek, and industrial. It doesn't fold or awkwardly bulge in your back pocket, and it has seriously changed my whole pocket situation. If you notice, all my jeans are worn out from my old bulky wallet, and there's probably a matching dent on my rear end as well. And the flexing of my old leather wallet on my buttons of steel would bend and wear out my credit cards and ID cards pretty quickly. With my new slim Ridge wallet, I can hold up to 12 cards plus room for cash. There's over 30 colors and styles to choose from, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium. I love it enough to have made the switch, but don't take my word for it. Just look at their 30,000 5-star reviews on their website as well. Ridge is also so confident that you'll love it that they'll let you test drive it for 45 days. You can send it back for a full refund if you don't like it. With their durable construction, Ridge is able to offer a lifetime warranty as well, so you can carry this one wallet for life. So support me and my generous sponsor and get 10% off today by getting your own Ridge wallet with free worldwide shipping and free returns by going to ridge.com/Hoovies, which is linked below. That's ridge.com/Hoovies, and use the code Hoovies to get your discount. Now, let's get back to attempting to justify my stupidity. Always a futile effort, but I'll try.
So why this BMW is amazing? Well, it's one of the most beautiful sedans of all time, first of all. I've said that plenty of times. Way better looking than the BMWs that replaced it, especially the 7 Series of the Bengal butt era. BMWs have just been getting uglier and uglier after this. Really ugly in some cases, but people keep buying them, so BMW keeps making the cars uglier. It's one of the weirdest things in the car world, in my opinion. People keep buying them despite the fact that they get uglier. And I really don't understand why, but look at this thing. The M parallel wheels with the Michelins on them. The lines of this car are just absolutely perfect. I covered all this in detail in my first video, so you can watch that again, but being my only BMW, I keep looking at it and thinking, man, this is gorgeous, inside and out. It is just so pretty. But now, it actually drives as good as it looks. Look, an old BMW with no lights and warnings. Zero. When's the last time you've seen that? It's been years for me. Oh yeah, this thing is beautiful. It's beautiful, but it's also so simple and elegant. But it's not just looks and simplicity that I think that this BMW is better than a new 7 Series, even though it is way prettier. I'm going to use a movie reference to make the comparison, the Transporter series. And if you remember the Transporter series, in the first movie, he used a BMW, a similar one to this one, a 750, I think, the V12, for the first movie, the Transporter, Jason Statham. He didn't want to know who he was hauling or why until he was actually hauling a human, and then that all changed. But in the first movie, it was a BMW 7 Series because it's the perfect choice for a bank getaway car, for an executive limousine, for seedy characters. It's just the perfect all-arounder car with a sporty edge. You wouldn't do it in an S-Class because it's a big, wallowy vehicle. The 7 Series was a nice luxury car, but with a sporty, driving enthusiast edge. And after this generation, this E38 generation, BMW kind of lost the plot. They decided to make the 7 Series more of a S-Class competitor than whatever it was in a segment of its own. And I think that was a huge mistake. It opened the door wide open for Audi to come and bring their S8 or their A8 and kind of fill that hole, which is what they had in the Transporter 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 or 12. However many movies there are now, that's the car that they use. This thing's so good. Now, I imagine a new 7 Series is probably faster than this, even the base one, and I will concede it may even handle better, I don't know, but it just doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel fun like this. So I guess it's an instance of it, they just don't make them like they used to. So paying up for this one, a nice low mileage example, and then taking care of all the deferred maintenance and having $15,000 into it, well, it just seemed worth it to me. I'm not sure if anyone else is going to agree with me, but I guess we can ask them. I need to stop by John Ross, one of my YouTube contemporaries, and check on his M6. That's not going well. And then we'll also head up to the Car Wizard. Well, I have arrived on the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. John Ross, you're doing pretty well for yourself for a man who got fired. Has it been a year yet?
It's been, yeah, about like right at a year. I'd say 30 more days.
He got fired for YouTubing too much. Now he has an SRT 10 Ram.
Yep.
An M6, a 944, a Titan, among other things. Yeah, Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce. An Audi R8 that's coming home in a couple days.
Well, look at you.
And well, I guess you can't really say I have an M6. It's a very broken M6, and it's sold and paid for.
I came specifically for that. For one thing, I want to ask you what you think you would pay for my 7 Series if you were buying it.
I'll give you $3,500 for it right now.
$3,500. So what if I told you I have $15,000 into it now?
You don't have $15,000.
I have $15,000. Bought it for $7,000 to ship it, $5,000 at Johnny's. I have to do a windshield, a headliner. I'm gonna have 15 grand into it all in.
Yeah, you will. That's gonna be a very, it's probably the nicest one, so I guess there's that.
Yeah, who's laughing now, huh?
What are you talking about? I have this. It's a supercar. It's not even mine.
You're dumping it.
Yeah.
You're dumping it at J&J Auto Wrecking for, what, pennies?
Well, what I paid for it.
What,
so.
You paid for it?
Yeah.
And what's wrong?
So the engine is basically seized up while we were driving it, and it wouldn't start again. And then it started yesterday for a half second and died again. I don't know. It's done. We'll push the button. Let's push the button. I guess I've got the
So you don't know if the engine's locked up or not?
Your 7 Series doesn't have comfort access.
My 7 Series runs. So you replace the rod bearings. The bottom end of the engine's been refreshed, but now the top end is...
Yeah, there's a nasty rattle out of the top end. And Car Ninja came over and looked at it and was like, well, it's still something with the Vanos system. And we think there was probably like metal debris that had circulated through the oiling system. And I don't know. Let's push the button, see what happens. That's basically all she wrote. Oh, now it's...
And now it's locked?
Click, click, click.
I may have spent a little too much money.
You might have.
But I won.
You might have won too. Alright, that car's a lot nicer. This one is going to take... If this was going to be saved, honestly, it could probably use a paint job to start, which was just $5,000.
Right.
Nice. And a good $1,000 just to try to put the leather back in its place, and who knows how much top end work. I mean, it would have taken a lot more work to get this thing done.
It's not worth fixing.
It is not.
I told you that the moment you bought it, and now you've realized it, but then you managed to sell it without losing money, which is why you're probably better at this YouTube thing than me.
I enjoyed the car.
Anyway,
it was fun.
Well, congratulations on not losing money and making videos. I need to learn how to do that. Guess I'll check. I think I'm gonna go to the Wizard next.
Yeah?
See what he thinks of the car.
Well, congratulations on the nicest old 7 Series I've ever seen.
Right.
I mean, it's basically the transporter car.
Well, it's nice that John Ross appreciates a BMW like this, RIP M6. I saw it coming from a mile away. Now, next we're gonna head to the Car Wizard because I do have a few presents that I need to give him. One that I forgot to give him years ago, but I just recently rediscovered it. And he is not a BMW fan. The whole reason I have Johnny, the Car Ninja, as a BMW mechanic is because he didn't want to work on my project BMWs anymore. He just went, nah. So I know he's not going to have too high of an opinion on this thing, but I mean, maybe it's older. He might like it. Wizard.
Well, you know how I feel about having BMWs in the shop.
Don't worry, you're not working on this BMW.
Oh, I'm not working on that one?
No, I just want you to look at it. I also have a
I started to get my heart rate up for a minute. I was about to boot you out of here.
Yes, he has BMW anxiety. But no, don't worry. You don't have to touch it. You just look at it, and I'll ask a few questions. I also have a present for you in the trunk.
A present?
Yes, a few presents.
Well, I definitely won't turn that down.
But how's my birthday present coming?
Really close. I'm getting the cage bolted in. We're going to get the bonnet put on, and the carbon shields that go in here, carbon fiber shields, and that's it.
Is the interior back together?
Yes.
Oh my God. You'd never know that hole was there, huh?
No, you wouldn't.
There's the orange soda interior in all of its glory, including a Taco Tuesday mark.
Yes.
Need to get that fixed.
Somebody had a blowout years ago there, I think.
So close.
Yes, it's very close.
Okay, take a look at this BMW. Now, it's an older one, so it's not awful.
I don't dislike the older ones as much as I do the newer ones.
Yes, 2001 BMW 740i Sport, 80,000 miles.
80,000 miles?
80,000 miles, and look how clean it is.
It looks like 80,000 miles.
Yes, so what do you think something like this is worth?
8 to 10 grand?
$8,000 to $10,000. Well, what if I told you, after all my repairs with the Ninja, I have $15,000 into the 740i.
What?
$15,000, yes.
Wow, that's pretty high. 15 grand into this thing?
You don't think it's worth it?
If you're into these cars and you plan on keeping it for a long time, yes. But if you're doing it for resale or to move it on down the road, no.
Well, I do have a present for you, and I kind of don't want to give it to you now, but I forgot to give it to you 2 years ago. I'll get out of here and leave you to the Lambo, but first take your present. So I bought this for you like 2 years ago, back when you had square bodies, and then I just never gave it to you. But it says Car Wizard up there.
Oh, wow. How did you get that up there?
The artist who made this, he would write it in. So this is a print, and then he would custom do whatever you wanted up there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll definitely put that in my office.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then I got you this too, because it's you. You are an automotive analyzer. I just saw it. It wasn't $40. It was way cheaper than that. I thought it was interesting decor for your lobby or something.
That's way in the old days, like the 70s or something.
Very old, yes, where you can check all kinds of things with a spark
volts,
and
RPM.
Yeah. I thought you would think that was cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll put that in my office too, so it'll be a conversation piece.
Well, enjoy that. I'm going to continue enjoying my BMW. That it was worth it. It was worth 15 grand.
For you, if it's worth it to you, it's worth it.
Well, maybe I did spend a little too much money on this 7 Series, but look at it. It is absolutely gorgeous. I have an as-new 7 Series from the early 2000s. Now, whether it makes sense to keep putting money into this thing and pay so much for it up front, well, I don't know. I mean, there's the new 7 Series right there, and while it's very, very different from this generation of BMW, totally different kind of mantra or DNA, once you get past this giant grille, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous car. Really gorgeous. And at $96,000, well, I could have put $5,000 down that I put into this onto that, and then did a lease for probably $1,000 a month, and 3 years later probably spent the same or less money to own a new 7 Series versus repairing and maintaining this one. BMW still has a few of these enthusiast cars. You know, there's the M2 and a few others that really capture the essence of the old school BMW, but the 7 Series, well, it's different. I'm sure it's faster, it handles better, but it's not what this was, which not really a bad thing, but man, that grill. Thank you for watching.